Hey everyone, it's Gamer Studios here. So guys, today we're going to be reviewing the Rise of Skywalker. This was our first review for 2020, which I'm actually really excited. Don't mind this, it's a little messy right now, but we're going to review the Rise of Skywalker. So what did I think about the movie? Honestly, it was a very good movie. Honestly, it was very exciting to actually watch it. There were flaws with the film. There was some good things about the film, and some things I wish that they could have done better. But I'm okay with what we got. So, in the beginning to the halfway within the film, it is very rushed, as probably a lot of you guys have heard, who are trying to stay away from spoilers if for some reason you haven't gotten a chance to watch The Rise of Skywalker, and you've heard that the film is rushed, which, yes, I do actually feel that and notice that the film is somewhat rushed, which honestly is something that I predicted back in August, that it was going to be an Infinity War type feel, to where we connect with the characters for about 10 minutes and then we move on with the story. And honestly, I'm kind of surprised that I was able to do that. So going into this film, I didn't have really much expectations. I just wanted to know how Palpatine returned, and hopefully they don't break anything else within canon and everything that tries to keep them this franchise consistent. Which they actually don't, and they do a lot of retconning for The Last Jedi. The Holdo maneuver seems to be something that is actually very hard, and you have to be lucky enough to even get it to do that much damage, which I was okay with that. Honestly, I was like, alrighty, they haven't broken hyperspace anymore. Just doing that. And Snoke is apparently a clone, Force-sensitive clone, which, honestly, does that make Starkiller canon now? Because he is a clone of... He does get cloned within the Force Unleashed games. And a lot of the characters within this movie do get handled really well, such as Leia, Ben, Solo, and Rey in this movie, which I really do like. A lot of the older characters, C-3PO, Chewie, Lando, Palpatine, and especially Leia, not only one of them die. Oh no, two of them die, which is Palpatine and Leia. Leia ends up was actually trained as a Jedi. She was able to get the rank of Master, Jedi Knight, but she chose not to because her son Ben was hanging out with Snoke, which honestly I thought was okay. I was happy that she was able to at least know the ropes of being a Jedi, and I did like that. I thought that was a really cool thing to see. Palpatine in this movie, he doesn't do much of anything. He gets killed off real easily. Thanks to Rey. He's saying that I am all the Jedi, with the help of past Jedi such as Ahsoka, Kanan, and Qui-Gon, Obi-Wan, old Ben, and Anakin Skywalker, and old Yoda, and especially Luke Skywalker, which I was okay with that. I was like, okay, so those guys give a little bit of Force energy to Rey to actually end up beating Palpatine, and he goes out like Revenge of the Sith. Basically, he lightsabers reflecting the lightning, and it goes to his face, but it actually ends up killing him. Leia saves her son by saying his name Ben, and also bringing back his father, Han Solo. And honestly, that was actually CGI'd, if I'm correct. That Han Solo was CGI'd, and it looked god awful. It was so bad. But they did a Force Awakens with that, because Han is like, come home, and he's like, it's too late for me, she's already gone. And Han is like, well, what your mother had stand for and everything, that's not gone, so she's not 100% gone because of what she stand for. And he's like, I know what I have to do, but I don't know if I have the strength to do it. And his Han, which is from his memory, is like, you do. And he yeets his crossguard lightsaber, which I was like, Okay, I guess that's cool. Like, it would have been cool to see him and Palpatine duel with red lightsabers, but that doesn't happen at all in this movie. Um, Lando doesn't die in this movie. Plays a very small role. C-3PO doesn't die. He just gets his memory wiped, so he could just read Sith writing, and he gets his memory back by R2-D2. So yeah, they did like a 160 on us because we thought that C-3PO was actually going to die or become like some new character and everything, being like a full-out warrior droid, but sadly it doesn't happen. Chewie in this movie gets captured by the Knights of Ren, who they don't do jack squat. They're just peeping toms, and they fight Ben Solo, and they get their butts kicked, and they all die. So they're not very special. At least the Praetorian Guards did something. All these guys do was just stalking our heroes like throughout the entire film. Like they didn't kill nobody. They didn't do nothing. They didn't play a really big role in this movie whatsoever. So Poe Dameron turns out to be and his old job turns out to be that he was a spice runner, and apparently there used to be a relationship between him and Zori Bliss, because throughout a lot of the movie, like when they introduce Zori Bliss, he's trying to flirt with her, and Zori Bliss is like trying to get him out of the war, and he's like, I can't, not until this is over, which makes me respect him more as a character and not just like some cheap Luke, Anakin, Han Solo type of ace fighter pilot, which honestly I like him more in this movie than all the other ones. Finn turns out to be force sensitive and has a connection with whoever that other female character in this movie that has the big poofy hair. I would say something, but a lot of you guys in the comics are going to be like, you're racist for calling her black, and I was like, I'm going to be like, she is black, but the other female character in the movie, Hux turns out to be the Resistance spy in this movie, which I was like, well, he was menacing, and he was really good in The Force Awakens, but in The Last Jedi, you kind of just made him a walking meme. So I'm like, Resistance spy, I guess, but he ends up explaining why, and he's like, I don't care about you winning, I just want to see Kylo Ren lose. So he doesn't care no more about this war, apparently. Over a year of this entire, like, a year and a week of this entire war, he doesn't give a crap about this war anymore. So I'm like, okay. The First Order finds out because General Pride is like, oh my gosh, I'm so much smarter, and I used to work for the Empire, so I'm going to kill you because I know you're lying. Which General Pride didn't do much in this movie, honestly. He's just another character. He's just there, like General Hux and all the other characters in this movie. So some of the scenes that I did like was the duel on the ruins of the Death Star. I thought that was a really cool scene. I got a lot of Revenge of the Sith vibes and Return of the Jedi vibes. Just seeing them on the Death Star fighting, using all of their skills, and I thought Rey was actually going to lose. She was going to get captured, but Leia pops in at the wrong moment, like I had said earlier, and she nearly kills Ben, which I was like, okay, you've killed him, but then she realizes, oh crap, I just did a big oopsie, and ends up healing him, which, when I was watching this, my cousin tapped me on the shoulder, just started laughing, which I was like, oh my gosh, like, throughout the entire movie, my cousin was literally laughing, and I thought it was funny, because there were a lot of jokes within this movie, too. There was a decent amount of humor with it, but, yeah, the fight scene was really good. I enjoyed the fight. It would have been better if they added the not the Revenge of the Sith, theme song, the Duel of the Fates, theme song, which honestly would have been perfect for this, and the final fight was kind of bad. It was still okay. Apparently Ben and Rey are a Force dyad, which hasn't been seen for generations, according to Palpatine. And that's how he becomes the Revenge of the Sith Palpatine and destroys a couple resistance ships. Ben gets up and he's like, no, I gotta stop you. And Palpatine's like, I'm gonna pick you up. And he's like, once I have fallen, so does the last Skywalker. And just pushes him off into like a huge crack within the ground. Literally, like that thing is deep, like you can't see nothing. And Rey's just like staring off into the sky, almost dead. And the Force reaches out to her thanks to the characters I mentioned earlier: Ahsoka, Kanan, old Yoda, old Luke, Ian McGregor's Obi-Wan, Hayden Christensen's Anakin, and old Ben Kenobi from the original trilogy, Qui-Gon, and they're all like, Rey, get up. Let the Force guide you and everything. The Force is a part of you. And they do an Avengers Endgame type of thing to where, like, Rey's like, oh no, Palpatine's like, no scavenger girl can defeat me. I am all the Sith. And she's like, well, you're all the Sith, but I am all the Jedi. And takes him out real easily. And then with this huge weird explosion, Force energy explosion, Rey dies, but somehow Ben climbs up with a broken leg. And he's like, no, I need you to survive. And they have this weird, awkward kiss scene. And there's a weird theory going around that he impregnated Rey. And I might have to cover it on my channel because I can't just leave you guys on a cliffhanger. Because while he's giving out the rest of his energy within him, he particularly puts his hand on her stomach and everything. And they have this weird kiss scene. And Ben dies. He becomes one with the Force. So at the end of the movie, Rey goes back to Tatooine, and this old lady's like, who are you? Because no one has been here for ages. And she's like, I'm Rey. And I was like, please say Palpatine. Please say Palpatine. For God, please let her say Palpatine. And she looks over, Luke and Leia are standing there, and she's like, I'm Rey Skywalker. And I was okay with that. I understand why she's worthy enough to be a Skywalker, but I was like, it would have been much better if she said Palpatine. So, and at the end of the movie, and then at the very end, she ignites her yellow lightsaber, which fits well with her character now because she's the last Jedi. She needs to protect the origins of the Jedi. So, with that being said, what do I think about The Rise of Skywalker? Honestly, it's a good movie. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. There are flaws with the movie, but that is what I'm going to do. Let me know your guys' thoughts. What did you know? What did you get to see The Rise of Skywalker? Let me know what you thought about it. Please like this video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, follow me on Instagram, and I'll see you guys all in the next one. Ace Gamer, out.